started. I'll be abstaining on this item as I am under contract with the applicant for this project.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Mr. Chairman, the applicant is proposing to build a private urban dog park on a vacant parcel at the Fremont Street and 9th Street within the downtown area. The park would be utilized by the downtown residents who will pay a membership fee for access to the park. No structures are proposed for the site with the exception of a temporary trailer. The site will have an 8 to 10 foot tall fence around it. The purpose of the fence's height is for the protection and safety of the general public from canines that may jump over a smaller fence. A waiver is also required to allow up to 60% of the site to be covered with turf. The use is appropriate in the C2 General Commercial Zoning District. The variance and the waivers are justifiable and can be supported by staff. Therefore, staff recommends approval of both applications with conditions. Please note that additional letters of support have been received after the publishing. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to hear from the applicant, please, and name and addresses.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the Planning Commission. Jennifer Roberts of Lionel Sawyer and Collins, 300 South 4th Street, appearing on behalf of the applicant on this site development plan review and variance for a creative and desired business in the developing downtown Las Vegas area. And staff has recommended approval, so I will have Kathy Brooks briefly discuss the proposed project.
And thank you. And Ms. Brooks, could you give us your address?
Yes, good evening or good morning, almost, Chairman and Commissioners. I'm Kathy Brooks. Residence is 150 Las Vegas Boulevard North, apartment 2003 in downtown Las Vegas. First, I'd like to thank you all for your time considering my project this evening. And I'd like to take a brief moment just to give a bit more insight in what this project actually is. It's been described as a private dog park, which is accurate partly. It actually has a far more broad perspective of what we're going to try to accomplish downtown. The Hydrant Club is a membership access space for people and their dogs. It has a purpose for the downtown existing dog community and dog owners to be a safe and a pleasant place for the community to connect and to learn what it means to be a responsible dog owner as well as a responsible dog in an urban environment like downtown. Central activities are going to actually be around education, dog training, canine behavioral study, educational seminars, social activities, and all within a space that is designed and utilized to exercise what people have learned to do there. As noted in the staff report, we are requesting some variances, each of which actually play directly into the core purpose of the property, specifically the 8 to 10 foot perimeter fence, which I think it's important to note we've carefully considered the need to balance a community orientation and transparency with the safety. So this isn't going to be a fortress. It's actually going to be an attractive, visually appealing site that's partially transparent to the eye. The height, though, will allow us to prevent dogs from jumping over, which is for the safety of the dogs, as well as for the safety of the people who might be passing by, whether on the sidewalk or driving. So the other is also the variance on turf coverage. As noted, this is an outdoor park space, so we think that's probably pretty relevant for the space to have more turf coverage. And as noted, the staff has recommended approval for the project, so we respectfully request that you would accept their recommendation, and if you have any questions, happy to answer them.
Thank you very much. I'll now open this up for public comment. Does anybody wish to be heard on this matter? And sir, if you'll state your name and address, please.
My name is Andy Bishel, representing the Animal Foundation, 655 North Mojave Road. I'm out for support for Ms. Brooks. She's a new resident, but also has reached out to the existing animal welfare agencies to get a feel for how she can best serve the community, both educationally, training, and with the homeless pets in the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Your name and address, ma'am?
Good evening. I'm Gina Bonjovi on behalf of Bonjovi Law Firm, 2620 Regatta Drive. And I would also like to speak in support of the Hydrant Club, Dog Park Social Club for Animals, not only as a native Las Vegan, also as an attorney and as a dog owner myself. I've been actively involved in a lot of rescue groups, and her attention to the safety issues that would surround such a development in the actually finally being revitalized downtown area is definitely deserves your support. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Does anybody else wish to be heard on this matter? Seeing none, I'll close the public comment portion, open it up for discussion amongst the board. Commissioner Truesdale?
Yeah,
Commissioner Moody?
I just want to make sure schnauzers are welcome here.
They're encouraged.
All right.
They're encouraged.
Could you explain again the reason for the fence height? I mean, because I do believe an 8 to 10 foot fence will create a fortress barrier. And I live in a neighborhood with parks and tons of dogs, and some of them could use some better ownership, but
Feel free to give them my number.
they're really, but they're 5 foot fences. And even big dogs don't tend to, want to jump over it. So I guess I'm more concerned this is a fence to keep prying eyes out rather than, and that's not what we really need downtown. We need, at least you didn't have a packaged liquor license with this tonight, but, you never know. The dogs might want to drink while they're there.
Well, there is apparently Bowser beer now,
Yeah,
but
see,
mine will let
there
my
it
dog
is.
drink it, so.
But I really believe the fencing is a concern.
Sure, well, I would like to have actually Craig Palacios, the architect on the project, show some of the images of what we're doing with the fence, just to assuage any of the concerns about what it might look like. From a height perspective though, I've seen a boxer clear a 6 foot fence from a standing start without even moving a whisker. My concern, because this is a downtown urban space rather than some of the parks which are a bit more suburban in the area here, is that there's a lot of noise, there are a lot of things that could startle a dog, and if one dog gets startled and goes over that fence, little Susie's, boxer could get hit by a car, the person driving the car could be injured, there's a lot of injury that could happen, so it really is for a safety perspective. But Craig, perhaps you can talk about the images themselves.
Sure, am I up here? Okay, cool. So, yeah, obviously, as you can imagine, there's a
Before you start, sir, I need your name and address,
Okay.
sorry.
I'm Craig Palacios. My address is 800 East Oakey Boulevard, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89104.
Thank you.
Yes, so as you can imagine, there's a lot of discussion about this fence height issue when we first became engaged with the project. Our understanding is that the normal height for this type of fence is 10 feet, the desired is 12. Where our office is 2 blocks away from here, I live on 8th, just down the street from here. So we have another interest in the neighborhood other than just, a project. This is our home, and we're in the process of beautifying a lot of areas. And the last thing that we want to do is create another wall. So we've attempted to provide a lot of care in doing this. And what we've done is we've created, if you look at this, this is the original inspiration for the project. And the idea is to create take the inspiration from something natural. In this case, it's grass or reeds, like a bamboo forest, and create something that's very impenetrable. So it's different reeds of bars that is it not a...
We're trying to show display here so that you can see the picture. Is it showing on yours?
Oh, sorry. When I was asking if I was on, it wasn't my voice. I was wondering if this was showing.
What we were seeing as your natural inspiration was an old dilapidated parking lot. And we were trying to figure out how that inspired a dog park.
We could do the interpretive dance, but I think maybe put John's.
So, the idea here is to create an impenetrable wall from keeping people out, keeping trash out, keeping the dogs in, but not make it so that you can't see through. And the concept here is these vertical reeds, or sort of an organic fence. And basically what we have is the description in the report is not totally accurate, because the single impenetrable area is 8 feet, and it's created out of 1 inch by 1 inch tube steel with a mesh in between, a 1 inch screen mesh. That's really what's the impenetrable part. And then we've created this level of texture moving out, which is landscaping and these vertical reeds. This is a quick artist sketch of, sort of how this system would work. You have your sidewalk, you have your landscape, you have your reeds. Within the layer of reeds is the fence, another layer of reeds, and the landscape on the outside, and then our sort of area of use comes outside of that. Another image, again, just a quick sketch of what this fencing system will look like. These reeds are quite far apart at some locations, closer in others. Different variances create what we think is going to be attractive amenity in the neighborhood rather than your sort of standard CMU wall or what was specified for parking areas in the Centennial Plan. So it will actually be quite easy to see inside of this area what's going on or outside of the area and create something that's also in line with the existing architecture, in this case, this bus stop that has this undulating roof.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Bonar?
I'm trying to find the cross-section, and I wish you could help me. I'm trying to figure out the proximity of the reeds and the mesh, what you say is a 1-inch mesh. What am I going to be seeing from the outside or the inside, or is it the same? And you're talking now about a filler between the two layers?
Sure, there's an actual fence which is created from welded wire fabric. And we see these fences often. Often they're used in a handrail. And it's generally used in an attempt to create a disappearance of the handrail.
Okay, but it's more than chicken wire or?
It's substantial, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, the product is what you would find in reinforced concrete.
Okay.
Not the concrete, the mesh.
I'm trying to visualize it. I'd be better off if I saw a piece of the fabric, really. Someday, and I will someday, won't I?
Thank you, Commissioner. Anybody else wish to be heard? Seeing nobody, I'll entertain a motion on this matter.
Happy to do it. Item 54, VAR 49536. Move to follow staff's recommendation for approval subject to conditions.
Please vote.
I don't get in between this.
Please post. Motion carries, noting the abstention of Commissioner Schlotman.
I don't hate dogs, I just think 10-foot fences are too high in the urban core.
Item 55, SDR 49532. Again, move to follow staff's recommendation for approval subject to conditions.
Please vote. Please post. Motion carries, again noting the abstention of Commissioner Schlotman.
Mr. Chairman, these items are final action in the absence of an appeal within 10 days.
Thank you.
Thank you, good night. We're going to take a very short break here for a little bit. We'll be back shortly.